How you guys doing today? This is Jason with Tuna Tech, and today I got a different video. It's not your typical unboxing. Watch. Okay, so if you go through my video or my channel and go through some of my videos, you'll see that there is a couple unboxings of the Samsung Z Flip 3, which was the first one I unboxed, and a case, and a couple of cases actually, and a Z Fold 3. So here are those devices. Now, this is the Flip, this is the Fold. The Flip does have I have a little Samsung key ring. I know it's kind of weird looking, but I like it because I can kind of walk around with this in my hand and know it's not going to fall. But either way, today's video, we're going to try to help you, the viewer, decide if you're in the market for the future, which is foldables. Do you buy either one of these or do you wait? So obviously, looking at these two devices right off the rip, you can see that the Fold is much taller. It's got a screen in the front and it folds open like a book. It's got a punch hole camera up here, which is covered by the screen. If I can unlock it, you can see it's a dark wallpaper. They already have it covered, but it does, they do camouflage it in lighter colors, but you can still kind of see it up there from time to time. It's not very good, but either way, this has got a bigger screen. It's AMOLED, it's 120 hertz, it's big, it's beautiful, and it's amazing. On the side, you got a fingerprint scanner. And on the back, you have 3 cameras, 12 megapixel each, and you also have a 10 megapixel selfie camera. So this has a lot more going for it in respects of screen real estate, and options for cameras. It's got 1 on the front, 3 in the back, and 1 on the inside. The one on the inside screen is probably the least attractive, but either way, it does offer more in screen real estate. On the other hand, you've got something that's a little smaller, more pocketable, and I think that's what they're going for this. You've got 2 cameras, which is a standard and an ultra wide. On this one, you've got a standard ultra wide and a telephoto. So there is one big difference. If you're more of a camera person, you have a little bit more options with this, like I said previously. This is more pocketable. Like I said, it fits in the palm of your hand. Still has a fingerprint scanner in the power button on the side and your volume rockers. Still supports stereo speakers like they both do. This one opens like a clamshell, like that. And as you can see, you can unlock it and it's there. It's got a standard selfie camera that's not hidden. You can see it at all times. And this one is a little more traditional when you open it up as a standard candy bar style phone. So when you look at these two phones unfolded, you really need to ask yourself a couple things. So when you go to preferences, what do you need? What do you want? With this phone, you can have multiple windows open. You can have, you can do multiple things at once. When you fold it, there's an option, you know, just like the Flip, when you fold it, you do have some other things you can do with it. Having a keyboard down here and being able to see things. It really boils down to preference. For me, this is the biggest kicker for me. Well, before we get into the biggest kicker, for me, this is much more pocketable. I enjoy being able to throw it in a pocket, even though it's kind of thick, but throwing it in a pocket and being able to take it anywhere. But where it suffers is battery life. So as you can see, the phone is split in half, and the battery is, I want to say, in the 3,000 milliamp area. I don't have the specs right in front of me at this moment. So getting through a day it can be tough if you're a power user, but it does support wireless charging and wired charging, obviously, but they're kind of slow. This one has a little better battery life. It's not fantastic in my short period of time owning it, but it does last longer. It also supports wireless charging and wired charging. Neither of these phones come with a charger in the box, but they do supply the wire. But for me, there's 2 big factors you got to think about when you're having these phones. For one, size matters. Now, don't go and say that's what she said, ha ha ha. But when you fold this up, that's chunky. You know, it fits in your hand, but it's chunky, and putting it in your pocket, you're gonna know it's there. So you might hear the common phrase, is there a phone in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? With this one, it's also thick, as you can see, folded. But the difference is it's half the size, so it may fit in smaller areas better. I think for people who use purses, and when I say people, I don't want to say just females, because there are man bags. So either way, it's you can throw it in a bag, throw it in a gym bag, throw it in a purse, throw it in your pocket, much easier. My biggest determining factor, I have both these phones, these are both mine. I do love this phone. I take it when I walk my dog. I was going to take it when I run, but unfortunately it's a little thick for me, so I usually just download music onto my Samsung Watch and run. But what comes down to it is these are folding phones. We can all agree to that, right? And no matter what Samsung says, this is considered glass that folds. So to me, every time you open a phone that folds, especially with one-piece glass like this, that crease in the middle is a weak spot, or a part that can break. So when you look at these two phones, you wonder, what's the reliability? How long is it going to last? And will it be a long-term phone? Now, Samsung has gotten better. I've had this Fold 1, 2, and this is the third one. This is my first flip, but the technology is very similar. But here's where I think people should realize. So you got size. Okay, if you're a power gamer, power user, and you need to get a lot of stuff done at once, this is a no-brainer. You jump on this when you can. If you're an average consumer and you don't need a whole lot of, you're not a gamer, you're not a heavy user, this could be just as fine. I mean, the cameras are great, and they generally work really well. But for me, I'm going to go with the Fold. And not because I'm a power user, but because this phone, when you close it, I don't know if you guys can see this with the case on, there is a front screen. So when you swipe over, you double click, and you can swipe over and you can see, you know, today's forecast, and you have some widgets. You have no music playing, but you can, you know, control your music, look at the weather, no alarms. But it's very limited in what you can do. So if you really want to get into Twitter and you want to do Chrome and you want to check your emails, you have to open it every time. That, to me, is going to make this phone not as reliable, or it's not going to be lasting as long as this phone is going to last. Because this phone, yes, it folds too, but the screen on the front is a full-fledged phone. So you can do most of what you need on this phone. The only downside to this phone being tall and narrow is that the keyboard's kind of hard to type on, but you can do everything on this phone. I mean, you can open your Internet Explorer, you can open anything and it'll work. So it comes down to preference, power user, average consumer. But if you are concerned about the folding screen and if it's going to break over time, I think this phone is the phone. This is the phone I'm going to choose out of these two, but you can't go wrong with either one. So that's a quick comparison and what I would go with a folding phone. But take these out of the picture, and what do you got? Well, you don't really have a whole lot of folding options. Xiaomi's got the Mi Fold, which isn't really widely available in the US. And you've had some of the crazy Escobar phones that were basically Fold phones rebranded. And you got the rumored Pixel Fold, which hopefully, at least from what my sources are telling me, that at the Pixel event, whether it's in October, September, whatever you want to believe, due to rumors, they are going to not necessarily release the Pixel Fold at the event, but they're at least going to announce it and go over some of the, you know, loose details of it. So if you're going to go for a phone that folds, obviously Samsung's way ahead of the game. But you could, between these two, you go with this. You could always wait for the Pixel Fold or whatever Apple's cooking up in their kitchen. So this has been a quick video. Please like, share, subscribe. I'll see you next time.